You're listening to Pop This, the podcast where two women talk about everything pop culture. Here are your hosts, Lisa Christiansen and Andrea Warner.
So I want to add to my another chapter to my Lisa's etiquette of things that I don't like talked about. We've had this discussion,
and I feel I've broken all of them.
Yeah, no, I don't think you've broken this one tonight.
Okay. Oh,
because someone did this the other day. Doesn't matter who. Someone randomly, probably where I work.
Sure.
Yes, it was where I work. And they just looked a bit tired, which is a Monday thing. Everyone looks a little tired, fatigued from a Monday, but I had to throw in jet lag. Don't talk about jet lag.
You don't
complain about jet lag. Don't mention. It shouldn't even be two words that you ever verbalize.
What if they had to travel for a funeral?
Then you say, I'm sad because I was at a funeral. You say, I'm emotionally spent because I was at a funeral.
But what if it's mostly the jet lag?
Then you don't talk about it.
Okay.
You don't talk about it.
I'm
only marginally interested in your hangover, but marginally.
Yeah. Are you more interested in my hangover or my jet lag?
Well, it depends on why you had the hangover. Okay? So
from my jet lag.
If it's like one of those humble brags, which is exactly what jet lag is.
Jet lag is a humble brag.
Complaint.
I like that. That's nice. That's
But a hangover can be that. But it also could be, I've been really, really sad and I just drank too much. And then I'd be like, are you okay? Like that. I'd genuinely be concerned for you.
Yeah.
If you had a midweek hangover.
Sure. No, understandably, yes.
Midweek hangovers, to me, that's a thing.
Honestly, sometimes midweek hangover just means you had a pretty great night. You're like, you know what? Friday doesn't need to be on a Friday.
Okay, then you know what? The rest of us are suffering through midweek, and we don't need to hear about your great night.
Again, with the bragging?
Yeah.
So it's just all bragging.
Well, it is, but it doesn't come like bragging. Like bragging could be just coming in and going, this awesome thing happened to me. It's not even really bragging. It's just like, this is telling news. And then friends, coworkers would be, that's fantastic. Good for you.
Yeah.
But that passive-aggressive, I'm so hungover. I drank so much champagne last night. You know how they always say champagne is the worst hangover? And I always say, they do? Like, honestly, I think mixing alcohols probably is the worst. In fact, all hangovers are pretty bad. I don't think I've ever had, the worst hangovers I've ever had, depending on how much liquor I drank.
Yeah, fair point.
Full stop.
And honestly, usually with sugar. And if you did not have, everyone thinks that they can just skip the fast food at the end of a drinking night.
I agree with that. Yeah, no.
Get off of your clean eating and just eat a freaking burger if you're going to spend the whole night getting trashed on champagne.
My guess is that's how poutine was invented. Like somebody just fell into a kitchen, right, somewhere in Quebec, and made fries, because that's my favorite. Fries and gravy has always been my drunk food. Yeah. That's my favorite thing. Mm-hmm. Salty, crunchy, fatty.
Sure.
And then you pour that cheese on top. I don't know whose idea that was.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was an accident.
It's just like so irresponsible to not eat something when you've been drinking all night.
That's why donaires too, and they're open late for you.
Everyone wants you to succeed. And you are, now I agree with you. Now I'm mad at all of these selfish, hungover people who don't bother to eat something after a night of drinking.
Yes, well, so perhaps we can throw in some advice just to make this experience not completely meaningless. But jet lag, there is zero reason for it. You don't need to say it. I don't need to hear at all.
I honestly am going to probably complain about jet lag at some point to you in the future. But I will understand that it is also just inherently a humble brag about wherever I've gone.
Right, because wherever you've gone to give you jet lag is further away than a 1-hour bus trip.
It is.
It is further away probably than even, for sure, anywhere you can get in your car over a weekend.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what you are telling me is that you cross time zones.
Yeah, and basically what you say to people who have crossed time zones is screw you.
Yeah. Well, or fine. I don't even mind if someone comes in back from vacation. Mm-hmm. I don't mind that. Come back. I went on a great vacation. That's great. But, oh, my God, the jet lag. Who are you, right?
Zsa Zsa Gabor. Yeah. I always think of Zsa Zsa Gabor when I hear about anybody
Yeah.
I was like an Austrian, like royal adjacent. And I did not bring my sleep mask.
Yeah.
And
what are you, Banksy? I don't know.
And my Pomeranian
I assume Banksy gets jet lag because he's flying all over the world painting things.
He's probably actually packing his body into a suitcase and just getting on the plane that way. Like he honestly, he's earned his jet lag.
To be fair, I bet Banksy just lives in some kind of weird sphere that we don't even know what time zone he's in. He just sleeps when he needs to, like a dog.
Have we had it confirmed that Banksy is even a man? Like maybe a woman, maybe non-binary? Like we don't really know much about.
I thought everyone always used the he pronoun.
I know, but I think it's like a default. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, it's got to be a man because, it's innovative.
Well, The Onion said that Banksy was revealed to be like a 78-year-old grandmother from England, so that was funnier.
I support that.
Yeah.
She could talk about her jet lag.
She could too. But yeah, so I mean, I know some people who don't complain about jet lag are rock stars.
Yes.
Because they have a 24-hour clock, right? There's no up, there's no down.
Yeah.
There's no night, there's no day.
Yeah.
There's perform, not performing. It's
Yeah.
like two states of being.
Yeah.
It can happen anywhere.
It's like I have spoken to some rock stars though who do talk a lot about their jet lag.
And what did you say to them?
I mean, I am a polite human being who says, sounds tough.
Did you say that with conviction and like sincerity?
I mean, as much conviction and sincerity as I offered you just now. Sounds tough.
Maybe that's why I don't interview rock stars. Because I would just be, are you kidding me? Are you complaining about jet lag?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like complaining about having too many lovers.
Yeah. These Hermes shoes sure are pinching me. Is that same kind of thing?
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just...
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get this caviar out of my tooth. Added to I've been making a list of things I don't like to discuss with people, and so put hangovers and midweek hangovers. I'll be specific about that.
Okay.
Because if you are normal and you have hangovers on the weekend, I won't know.
Sure.
Friday, Saturday, I don't know what you're doing Saturday morning or Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Those are hangover days.
I gotcha.
Very normal.
Okay.
Midweek hangovers and jet lag, I don't want to hear about.
I mean, what about shift workers? Anyway, there's no good segue at this moment.
No.
Normally I can pull one out of what we've talked about, but there's no good segue.
Go.
That's fine. You know who might be jet lagged? Our guest.
Oh, but she's as if she's going to mention that.
Can you imagine? She's going to like, so look, I feel really judged by Lisa.
It's different though, because she can just turn to you like old pal and do that.
Yeah,
right?
like
and then you'd be like, and you'd have to sympathize.
This is my Muppet face.
See, you guys got inside jokes. You can do it then.
Also, she'll just be like, I felt like I couldn't tell you about how jet lagged I am after Lisa's whole opening remarks. But like,
it was
I'm really
the one thing I was going to bring up because I'm exhausted.
I better hide the fish roe between my teeth.
Also, yeah, please get the caviar out of your grill.
Yeah. Too much champagne.
Yeah, that can be a problem for some people.
It's Latin.
Especially when you're flying that business class, right? Mm-hmm.
So you're listening to Pop This. I'm Andrea Warner.
I'm Lisa Christiansen.
And we have a special guest today.
We do.
Hello.
So excited.
Yes.
So excited. I feel like this has been a long time coming because, well, you don't live here anymore. And that's on you,
Well,
friend.
that sounded very like you guys have some issues you need to like explore just right now.
East Van.
I know. Well, it's because Flo's been one of my best friends since we were 13 years old.
Wow.
We met in homeroom, like our first day of high school.
It's fate.
I know. And like we had lockers like near each other.
Aww.
And it's just, yeah, it's been forever because now we're older than 13. And
13 going on 30.
13 going on 40. I am 40 already. And you moved away from Vancouver 6 years ago. You live in Chicago now.
I do.
So it's very exciting. You are here for a week.
Coming in hot.
So hot. So happy that you're here. So excited.
Me too.
It's just like a nice feeling of being home.
Yeah.
So good. And I'm also so excited that we get to talk about Always Be My Maybe.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So good. So good.
Ooh.
So I'm going to introduce Flo first.
Okay.
Is that okay?
She has more credentials other than just your Best friends since you were 13?
I mean, yeah.
It's
like,
not strictly nepotism.
No. Like she has other stuff of value to offer.
All right.
So Florence Chee is a professor in the film and digital media program in the School of Communications at Loyola University Chicago. She is director of SimLab, the Social and Interactive Media Lab, where they engage with social justice issues in digital communication, including gender and race representation, video games, and the digital divide. She holds a PhD in communications from Simon Fraser University here in Vancouver and is currently writing a book about how online game culture got so big in South Korea. I know.
Wow.
That's
okay,
a lot,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, you're... Yeah,
She's
you're qualified.
You're allowed to stay on that.
Yeah.
Can I stay now?
Yeah, you can say no. You
Yeah.
can say no. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I like having this bio actually of you because I occasionally when I tell people like, oh yeah, like my friend, she's like, you know, does all this stuff, and I try to like remember all the stuff that you do. I can't always. So now I have an actual handy reference guide that I'm going to keep in my
But you'll
phone.
still just say this is my friend Flo.
In a
Sure.
locket.
Like that would
Yeah.
be a lot.
I'm gonna shrink it down and carry it in a locket just as
Keep it close to your heart, written on a grain of rice.
all the well,
Aw.
that's nice.
Exotic.
Also racist.
'Cause
No, I'm
oh.
kidding.
This is jumping. This is a lot of jumping here.
Wait, yesterday you told me, or the day before, you told me that you love Ali Wong.
I do.
But specifically, please tell me what your connection to her personally is.
Oh, well, I just feel her so much more than I really ever have another Asian American actor. And I deeply respect her writing skills, and she's a self-described jungle Asian. If you've seen her Netflix specials, I mean, that complicated question of where are you from, and Asians being lumped into this big category. You know, she talks about they're fancy Asians and they're jungle Asians. I'm a jungle Asian.
And you self-identify similarly?
Similarly, yes. My parents came from Malaysia.
Yeah.
And, you know, that question gets really complicated because I was born and raised in Canada, right? So that continues to be a question that Asians tend to get asked because we're forever the new arrivals.
Yeah.
Right? And this is really cool to see.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to see that she was representing in a
Yeah.
good way.
Yeah.
By doing this movie and starring in it and
Co-writing it and like co-producing it. Like this is an Ali Wong vehicle. Really.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I would also say Randall Park.
Sure. I mean, he shows up.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. I love Randall Park.
and you know, I have a 19-month-old at home, and you know the timing of Baby Cobra. I watched Baby Cobra when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I watched Hard Knock Wife after my kid was born, and so I just feel like she's been previewing all these stages for me and being really cool and raunchy all the way.
Which
Something
honestly,
to identify with.
Of course. Like if you've ever met Flo, the thing you would be like, cool and raunchy, actually, Professor Chee. That's no.
I would say just to get maybe too ahead, but I was going to say I thought she really toned down the raunchy. I was kind
honestly,
of a bit
I expected it to be raunchier.
Yeah,
Like, I honestly
with
actually thought
with
raunchier.
the exception of a couple of good, well-placed swear words, which were
Sure.
completely necessary.
Yes.
It was really a little bit in the context of the film works perfectly.
Oh, it
and
does.
her character,
But
but
I did like
it was. I hope I'm kind of thinking future. It'd be kind of cool to see that
like,
person
just really let her
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Bob Saget can do
Yeah.
Full House,
Yeah.
wholesome apple pie,
Uh-huh.
and be this absolutely alter ego
Yeah.
on stage,
Yeah.
then it's fine.
She should be able to. Yeah. No, I feel like this is like a nice testing the waters, and then like we're really gonna get because you know she is an actor, but she's like much more a comedian and much more a writer as well. And so like this was like I think a really beautiful chance to like you know we see her like do really emotive and emotional work throughout this film as well as like the funny, hilarious, and sexy stuff. So like I feel like at some point she's gonna get her like big. Girls Trip kind of large scale film. You know?
Although I mean in our constantly changing media landscape, I mean, I feel like the scales on which is more important, feature film or a Netflix or a miniseries on HBO, I don't know anymore where the balance of power is.
I mean, I think it's still, like, big budget film, like, on some level.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten out to see a proper movie in the theater for ages.
I mean, if you
now.
look at something like Big Little Lies coming back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much, like, that's Academy, that's like almost everyone in this show has got an Academy Award.
No, I know. But the thing is, they got the Academy Award first. You know what I mean? So, like, and that still, like, has a, anyway.
Yeah.
We should say.
Yes.
Always be my maybe. The film, why are we doing this? Because it's amazing. And the film takes a lot of our favorite things on our list. It's a rom-com. It stars Ali Wong and Randall Park. It features a cameo from Keanu Reeves. Honestly, that's all we need to ask for. It's a great pop this film.
It is. And we should probably say, we're just going to spoil, not that you can really spoil a rom-com. You know where this is going.
Yeah.
Always. But,
but you have, if you haven't seen it and, like, you care about that.
Yeah.
Then pause it, go watch it, and come back.
Yeah, so childhood sweethearts have a falling out and don't speak for 15 years. Only reconnecting as adults when Sasha, Ali Wong, runs into Marcus Randall Park in San Francisco. Although the old sparks are still there, the couple live in different worlds.
So I loved this. It made me so happy. And I really felt like... I just felt like so at home on so many levels.
Well, because it was filmed in Vancouver. Because it was.
Hey, that's Chinatown.
I know. Hey, that's the Vancouver. That's the Orpheum. That's the art gallery.
Yeah, there is a lot of that for sure.
Yeah.
But I also just like I felt like I've been inside the homes of these characters because of just like where I've grown up in Southeast Vancouver. Like that's. Like it just felt. It felt like
you mentioned you had a mansion in Whistler. You weren't telling me.
No, but it felt like can you imagine?
Or else that was in Coquitlam. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it just felt like home watching it. It was really nice.
I can feel that too because it did have. There is something about Vancouver films that you can kind of feel.
Well, and just even going into their houses, like the characters' houses when they're kids and stuff, and like. The specificity of like shoes off and like it all resonates for me as like visiting homes of my like Chinese friends and my Asian and Canadian friends when I was like younger, and it just feels like that's very normal for me.
Like my home.
Yeah, exactly. Like going to your house. Like I mean, shoes off at the door. I mean, which honestly I've adopted and I love it. Thank you very much. It's great as just a sort of
highly recommended
practice. Yeah. How did you feel watching it?
I felt like it was really relatable, and you'd be surprised. Like some of the reviews that are coming out are, they just don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's not for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a definite audience that they had in mind, and we love it. This is like I was giddy looking at this already as it was coming out. And then I watched it the day it came out, and I was so happy.
Yeah.
I felt like I was bearing witness to history being made with Asian American leads for a romantic comedy.
For sure.
Being able to just be complicated people without the qualifier of Asian, this, Asian, that, Asian waitress, Asian something.
Yeah.
And that has been a long time coming.
Well, and especially like I'm trying to think of like any other rom-com that does this, and it doesn't. Not with Asian American leads. Like there've been a couple of stories, and like Crazy Rich Asians is, it's fine, it's good.
I guess that was sort of billed as a rom-com though, wasn't it? But it was on a much bigger scale.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit different. Like it's still sort of this felt much more rom-com-y and like much more powerful because there's no like characters at any point that have like particularly there's no white characters at any point where you have to explain anything to, which is nice. Like it just it's an
inversion because usually with rom-coms you see Asians in service roles and those are the only roles they get in these films, and This was kind of the other way around.
It's completely the other way around, yeah.
And it was a rich story. It had a lot of nuance that, if it went above your head, then fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the you mentioned the negative reviews, and so this is from the New York Times. Jeanette Katsoulis, she's lamenting the fact that Sasha would even end up with Marcus. And so she says, once again, we have a smart, successful woman hooking up with a weed-smoking low achiever, albeit one who bucks formula somewhat by failing to drag her down to his level. Small consolation is in a movie littered with Spanx jokes, money-focused Asian stereotypes, and embarrassingly humorless setups. One particularly wince-worthy scene has Marcus ruin his band's crucial audition by drunkenly relieving himself on an amplifier. Why can't I pee on a speaker? I was like, what?
But also he just broke up and was devastated and drunk. Like that's I mean, not that I've ever done that, but I mean, it didn't seem implausible in the context of this film. And the whole context of the story is up until meeting her again, he was acting like a child. Like, and that was what we were supposed to be thinking of him as, still in his poster-covered bedroom smoking pot while looking at himself in the mirror trying to get his band off the ground. I mean, none of that was supposed to charm you.
No.
At all.
I really loved his relationship with his father.
Yes.
It was lovely.
Yeah,
it was so great.
Yeah.
His relationship with his dad is great. The money-focused Asian stereotypes I
didn't get that at all.
That was pretty tone deaf.
I thought I thought the point of her character was that she's a chef who really loves cooking and wants to have a successful chain of restaurants, which...
Also, when it's two Asian Americans co-writing the script, they're not giving you Asian stereotypes. They're giving you...
Inside jokes.
It's not for this woman.
It was an invitation. You are invited inside this world.
Yeah.
Observe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, this is one of the things that, we talk about it a lot, and I think about it a lot in terms of, reviewing, because I review theater a lot. And so I always think about, okay, and I position myself, is this for me?
Yeah.
No? Okay, cool. And that's fine. And then you review it based on the fact that you are a guest invited inside a world. Mm-hmm. And that really has to be you have to give these two smart, intelligent people who got this movie made, who co-produced it, who co-wrote it, and co-star in it.
Yeah.
The benefit of the doubt that they are not filled with self-loathing, internalized racism.
Yeah.
That's wild to me that this writer would just even go there.
Yeah.
I hope Ellie Wong has a good therapist because you work that kind of stuff out in therapy.
I mean, she's obviously developed quite a thick skin over all of them have to. Yeah.
I heard that she thought Randall Park was approaching her to write it for someone else.
Really?
Oh.
So when it became known that he imagined her in that role, that was a different matter altogether, and I love it.
That's so nice. Yes. That's so nice.
And I think the whole point of what was really kind of fun too about this whole him being in this band was that it was a weird idea that when they met up again, because they hadn't seen each other since high school, just at the end of high school, right before they graduated.
I thought that they were just about to graduate from high school.
Yeah,
because they were talking about going to college or not going to college.
So they weren't sure. So it was as if when they met back up again, they kind of just started then. So here he is playing in his band, and she's there. That's my boyfriend up there. And it was so sweet, right, that they weren't really going to do this as adults right now.
Yeah.
Because she's just stopping off in town. She's not living there anymore, right? Yeah. It's all different, but at the same time, all their relatability is back to the last time they were in high school. He's still living at his dad's house, for goodness sake, right?
Yeah.
So that dynamic is still there. So seeing her at that club, just I'll beat you up if you look at my boy. I mean, it was so funny and ridiculous. But then I was just kind of so charmed by the fact that both of them were just we're just back in high school now.
Yeah.
Kind of right? And real life will come back soon, and did,
and does. It hits them hard,
and hits them hard. But but that there are just, to me, so many charming moments about this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like my favorite moment. And obviously, I mean, it's, the restaurant scene
Keanu.
with I don't know that it even specifically is Keanu. It's the restaurant scene. It's like all four of them together. I mean, his walk into the restaurant's amazing. It's all four of them together, but it's also the premise of this restaurant. When they put on headphones
to hear the caribou. It was very smartly written too, because it was like the way they used it to reveal each person's character that everyone was kind of sad or weirded out except Sasha, just like, that's interesting, and this is good meat, Yeah, I thought that was,
oh my God, it made me so happy. I couldn't get over it.
Hey, I grew up seeing fish clocked on the head in Chinatown. So, a creature in its death throes. I mean, sorry, vegans, but I mean, it's...
No, I know, but
this is culture. This is what I grew up seeing.
Yeah.
And
but this is something interesting, because I think that the other area where you're saying, we're being invited in, is to really try and understand about that food culture, like what the food meant. Because that was her introduction to his family, right? Was being invited over to watch Judy cook. And and that was the thing that she was missing, right? Was that her family weren't there for the meal. So it's a very big part of...
Yes.
Yeah.
Food is love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find that across many old world cultures.
Yeah, for sure. When did you find it? This is like a moment that in sort of the character of Marcus, is that he kind of is a bit of a dick sometimes, and so I found it like when he was being like so incredibly judgmental about like what she has done to his mother's food, and he's just like kind of like merciless about the way that she has sort of moved into this other stratosphere of life, and that she has like, oh no, authentic food is in a giant bowl.
I did see a blog, like a food blog today, take on this movie, on this subject. They did, yeah. So that's interesting. It was called Eater magazine, and anyway.
Oh, yeah. But, like, I was wondering, like, so you have also seen, though, like, I mean, we have seen over and over again, particularly white people discover an element of Asian culture's food, and then elevate it to like the fine dining level as if it needs to be elevated. It's a very different thing, I believe, when it is an Asian American person like taking their food and like moving it into these different places and doing these fusion things. What did you think of Marcus's criticism of Sasha?
Well, it really goes back to how they started out, right? And class jumping, class mobility, these themes kind of working themselves out through their relationship with one another. And it's really very much like how someone moves away from home, they make it big, and then there's that hometown resentment once they return. And, oh, what have you done? Now you dress all fancy and you talk all fancy, and, you're not one of us anymore. And so that, through the food, was getting worked out. And so I think that Marcus was taking out his hostilities because of this issue.
And his, like, the whole, like, not going anywhere and just, like, his fear of whatever he's afraid of.
Being left behind.
Yeah.
Socially. And also, he does love her. And feeling abandoned, like, when you're, like, a class traitor. Right, and
that class mobility issue, you're right. It does come up a lot, and it's like really littered throughout the film. Like when she's talking about his car and how crappy it still is, and how he still drives it, and he's wearing his like uniform from work, and
it was a much more relatable story as an Asian American, though, because Crazy Rich Asians was a more tired trope in a way, because that's a cliche. And, crazy rich people are everywhere and reviled universally.
Yeah.
But, this Asian American phenomenon in particular is relatable in that way, because your parents, want you to do well, and you may start out working all hours at a grocery store, but it's for the kids, and that theme inserts itself over and over again in the film too.
And I thought one of the nice things was actually about how how she's upset because her parents sort of ignored her through her whole childhood, and she's left at home to do all these things by herself. And I thought that and I liked that they touch on the resentment that she feels about them being kind to the next generations of people.
Yeah.
And then having time for them in a way that they never had time for her.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually a really beautiful element. I would have liked to spend even a little bit more time with that within the script.
And I'm glad they kind of, as much as they could, sort of resolved it with that she was open to it, that she didn't turn her back, which is, I hate those kinds of things, because they're not cruel people. There was some decisions were made that,
they had to do what they did.
They did what they did, and she wasn't, going to be angry anymore. And so, yeah, I mean, in a good rom-com, there's a lot of personal growth. That's
Growth.
It's growth. Yes. Yeah, not just erections, but actual personal.
I was expecting more shirtlessness, I will say. I'm just going to say, I thought, particularly because Ali Wong is so genius.
You wanted to see Ali Wong shirtless?
No. I mean, we did actually see her in her bra, I think, at one point. Yeah, she flashes.
Oh, yeah, she does.
She flashes Randall.
Yeah.
Randall Park. But no, I thought we would, because Ali Wong is, again, such a genius that she gets these 3 super attractive men as her love interests in this one film.
Yeah.
I thought we would spend more time with some of them naked, and we did not. And I just...
Well, it was
No, I know. But I just...
sheet up to here look on
Sure,
a guy.
sure. I mean, I like the sheet up to there look. It's a good look. But I just...
Nobody knows what I'm doing.
They can tell. It's a sheet up to there. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought we'd spend more time with some dudes naked.
That's to come. I'm pretty certain.
I mean, I'm kind of happy because pulling off really smoldering hot sex scenes in movies is you remember the good ones because there are so few. It's hard, right? I mean, right lighting, right music, right, you know what I mean? Slow-mo, not slow-mo.
There's a lot of things going on.
There's a lot of things going on. So if you're not, they might have had some scenes where they didn't go. I don't know.
Was Keanu a thrill for you, Flo?
Yes.
Do you ever think about his Asian Americanness?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I've been really interested in the discussion around his lineage. I mean, he identifies as Asian American, and he's part Hawaiian, and it's really nice to see. And everyone wants to claim him too. So.
Well, Canadians have a claim on him too.
Yeah.
Because he grew up in Etobicoke.
Sure, I mean...
Which is exciting for him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and played ice hockey, as they call it in the United States, ice hockey.
Who wouldn't be thrilled? Who wouldn't be thrilled?
And the man has aged like a fine wine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. And I mean, unlike a lot of men getting toward his age, he can have fun with himself.
Oh my God.
And that is a huge, huge, huge thing that makes somebody sexy.
Oh, I love the fact that he was just already a fan of Ali Wong.
And that's why he wanted to do it.
And then he was game for what, he gets progressively weirder. But I actually
in real life or on the show?
In the movie.
Yeah.
But I love it when they when him and Sasha are just devouring each other's faces, and he keeps talking about sort of really
soul. And she's like, I love your mouth.
That's the thing, all these esoteric things.
Yeah.
All these esoteric things, and she's just objectify. Brilliant. So brilliant, because it doesn't really get to be like that very often. And he knows what he was cast for, and he's game, and he shows up and he does it.
Yeah, no, it's like the sort of, if you're making the white version, you just put Matthew McConaughey in it. He's not quite as sexy, but that same sort of, where are you living? What sort of images and thoughts are coming? Keanu, I just love the fact that his world is not anyone else's.
It seems like a very specific world that he operates in. Apparently, he has all this tragedy in his background.
Oh, in real life, you mean?
Yeah, significant amounts of tragedy, but also just this long history of sort of being erased from so many different
But so many
things.
different kinds of, like, for me, I mean, I recognize there's going to be a lot of people like the action stuff, right? The John Wick's doing well, too,
Sure.
or whatever. And we've already discussed Speed on this show.
Which we loved.
But I'm sorry, The Lake House and Something's Gotta Give.
So
Two
I've never
Keanu
seen.
Reeves roles that people don't talk about very much.
I've never seen The Lake House.
Well, that was him and Sandra Bullock back together again at last.
This is a small detour, but I just want to say, so I've never seen The Lake House, but I have listened to the episode of the podcast "How Did This Get Made" about The Lake House with Starlee Kine, and it's amazing. One of my favorite episodes of How Did This Get
the podcast without seeing the movie? Is
I
that
do that
weird?
all the time.
Oh.
They watch a lot of crappy movies, and
Oh.
it's just really funny the way that they talk about them. And so you can decide whether or not you need to see it.
So I take it you've decided you don't need to see The Lake
Well,
House.
I didn't until you said that you loved it, and so then I was like, okay, well, we're gonna end up doing
Well,
it
love
on the
it.
podcast.
I mean, you know what I mean by that.
I know.
Okay.
But like we're gonna end up doing it on the podcast
Yeah.
at some point.
Yes.
And so I just need you to also listen to the
I will.
episode of How Did This Get Made
I'm
about
just
it.
excited to know that there's a, because it doesn't make any sense as a
Oh,
movie.
it's
It really does. Have you
phenomenal.
seen it? No, it doesn't. It makes no sense at all, but it's so romantic.
Is
Really.
it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right, fine.
And in There's Something, Something's Gotta Give, that is like he plays this very sexy doctor.
I saw that a very long time ago
Yeah.
because for a while I was just really into like older people doing sex in movies. Like I just thought that was like an interesting thing that I needed to sort of like see more of and celebrate.
But he plays,
he's the love interest of
Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton.
But I'm going to say he plays the exact same role in
Always Be My Maybe?
as he does in Something's Gotta Give.
See, I mean, I think.
See, Diane Keaton has him come over, but she's really actually in love with Jack Nicholson.
Oh.
Keanu
Wow.
comes in
Wow.
and shows her all the attention that she needs
Uh-huh.
till she can get with the
So
person
this
she
is a very
really loves.
complicated thing for me because I did, as a 14-year-old girl, have a crush on Jack Nicholson.
I was
which
just
is-
about to bring
You were
up
just about to be like,
Jack
oh man,
Nicholson,
you
yes.
used to.
So you would have dumped Keanu for Jack in a heartbeat too.
Maybe. Oh
Yeah,
my
no, I
God.
mean-
like just like terms of endearment era Jack Nicholson. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think is the sexiest Keanu Reeves role?
Oh.
I've
Well,
never
it's like-
seen that one with Charlize Theron where she's dying. That's a big one. It's
Is
like
it? Is it?
It's like a opposite of a rom-com.
Oh, okay.
It's a rom.
But they do a lot of Bonetown stuff, or like what?
No, he's caring for her. They fall
Oh.
in love, and then she gets cancer.
Oh.
It's like a love story. or
Oh my God,
something.
maybe I have seen that actually. Now that I think
It's
about
just
it.
a lot of crying and
Yeah,
barking.
I don't. Oh, it's called Sweet November.
Sweet
Yes.
November.
Okay,
you know
I
this
think-
movie.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Is that also
Not
your
my
sexiest?
favorite.
Okay.
Not
No,
my
but I'm
favorite.
saying like he plays these parts
Uh-huh.
that are like candy to women.
No,
Like,
for sure.
You know that he gets that. You know that he puts himself in movies where he loves women at their most vulnerable moments.
Well, and then there's also Bram Stoker's Vampire, where like all the
Oh, with Winona Ryder. And,
and they're all attacking him
Yeah.
sexually.
That's right.
Yeah, he doesn't
That's
like that
right.
though.
No, he's,
No, but that's
so
what I'm
that's
saying.
yours.
He's like, no.
Is that yours, Flo?
I'm
Like-
actually a John Wick fan.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
John Wick. Is
I like John Wick era Keanu for his grizzledness, and he's been there. You know, he's seen things. I kind of like that kind of guy.
I will avenge the death of my
Really?
dog.
I'm really feeling him in this. Like,
He was not good in a Shakespeare I saw, Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah, that wasn't. He's
that
not,
was
he's
very
not great in Shakespeare.
uncomfortable. That was.
He's not great in
good.
Shakespeare.
And
but-
I mean, we're missing Bob and Ted's Excellent Adventure
Bill,
on Purpose.
Bill and-
See, I've never even seen it.
oh my God! In Always Be My Maybe, when they're dressed as Wayne and Garth.
Yeah.
Oh my! I
know who that
actually squealed because I was so excited to see. They looked so cute.
They did.
Those characters. And the other thing that I thought was like so interesting. Sorry, I'm just going to go back to the movie for a minute. Is just like the fact that apparently Marcus never realized that Sasha was like in love with him the whole time. And I mean, she does play it kind of close to the vest. Like I get that. But like when he's blindsided that she has always loved him, I was just like, so like no one ever teased the two of you. Like that's what a lot of parents do that to, like, if they've got a kid who has like an opposite sex partner and they're like super into heteronormativity, they're gonna like be like, oh, when are you guys getting together? Oh, are you making out? Like
yeah, but maybe that's what made her more resistant to that. I mean, maybe there was a
no, but she was in love and she was waiting
but
for
I mean
him to
more
notice
more apt to be like really forcefully, I'm not into that.
I just feel like it would have been like, wouldn't it have dawned on him at some point?
Well, they had sex in the back of the car, so
I get that. Like, I mean, they figured it out.
No, but I mean, so they did make an effort.
Yeah.
To have a relationship.
But do you think, like, were they together at that point in the movie, or were they just still friends and then they just ended up having sex in the car because, like, he was sad because his mom was dead? Because I've done some weird stuff when I'm sad because my dad was dead, and that's a weirdly.
You had sex with Randall Park in a Corolla?
I wish. Can you imagine?
This is a very specific.
It's a very specific fantasy, but
I can almost smell that Corolla.
Oh my God! Don't smell the Corolla. No, it's
no, I gotta say. That game they played in the penthouse there with asking, like, what was the name of it?
Oh, what did they call it?
The question, but it was the questions that
everyone
like
Truth or Dare.
But
sort
like,
of
but
it was
like a Truth or Dare, but like a little bit different.
Yeah, and that seemed to be a game that you would leave without friends.
Oh, 100%.
Or definitely romantic
yes.
partners.
Yeah, 100%. Like
that question of who's the weirdest person you masturbated to? I'm not answering that honestly.
It was a great.
There's no way.
That was a way better question than who would you kill? I was like, wow. That's some harsh business that got down to real fast. Like
that's the question in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Well, they raised
someone
the
dies.
stakes.
Yeah.
Yes, right there. Yeah.
Can I raise one thing that just I felt bothered me, and I would like to address it about this film?
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
There's just why did they have to have any fat shaming? Like, did it have to be a thing? Like, it
Spanx references
not
constantly?
Not the Spanx reference. It's actually Randall Park's character that does the most of it. And he talks about, like, it being a large jacket and did a house of a man wear this, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, and the other guy losing weight all the time.
And the other character has,
and she didn't have a thigh gap.
Yeah. There's just several of those moments that really felt kind of unnecessary.
There was a Boys Don't Cry reference too.
Oh, that was
a bit strange in this movie.
It was a little strange, but yeah. But the fat shaming is the one. Obviously, it stood out to me just as a fat person. But I was just like,
no, I know, I noticed it.
Yeah,
I noticed, and I thought, I did, okay. and I was thinking unnecessary.
Yeah,
like, there wasn't any particular point to it.
No, and it wasn't even funny.
No, it wasn't funny. No, it was
like, I mean, I guess at least do me the honor of making a fat joke funny. Like,
or if it's taking us somewhere, this is the characters, it didn't even go anywhere. It didn't mean anything.
I just feel like they're all better than that.
Yes.
And I am blaming Randall Park because it was always his character, mostly, that was...
Well, I get, if...
But I'd still do him in a Corolla.
Is that the weirdest person you've masturbated to?
Like,
I never think of people. Sorry.
Maybe the unpalatable aspects of his character were being played out, kind of like writing a racist character.
Yeah. Just like because he is kind of like a jerk sometimes, and like
Well, I think one of the things that struck me a lot about the characters they created is they were really childish, like they were stunted emotionally with that breakup. It almost as if time stopped for them. Because they were meant to believe, and that's why rom-coms are good, that they were meant to be together. And they are. And I don't like stories that just say that. I like how they prove it, because they liked being together, and they were funny, and it was a shorthand. They were like best friends. And obviously had a lot of chemistry and had good sex. So it was like perfect, right?
Yeah.
But there was something about them that was still sort of goofy when they were like kid-like, right?
Yeah.
And I think by the end of the movie, we see that they've, not quite progressed. He still went to a weird store to get a suit, but all $12,000 for
that suit looked amazing. Honestly, the one that he showed up in, I like a blue velour. I'm good with that. Honestly,
in the back of a Corolla.
I do. I really do. So this film was filmed here. A lot of it. Flo, you used to act in Vancouver.
I did.
You did. Do you have feelings about this movie being made here? And just like, did you just like, have you just missed your opportunity? Like, are you, or do you just feel good and you're just happy it's done?
Well, I'm glad it's happening now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
I have a number of anecdotes.
Please.
Well,
you can share 1 through 3. And, no,
well, you know, having been Asian number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
On the call sheet, like that's just like literally your character name.
And I can't say that it hasn't been a thing.
Yeah.
In the industry here, I mean, we take the runoff from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right. Like we style ourselves Hollywood North, but that's part of the pecking order.
Yeah.
Right. For back when the Canadian dollar was super duper low, and you could produce all sorts of yummy productions like X-Files.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, I've attended casting workshops where the white chicks looked at me and said, "You're lucky that you'll get in because of quota.
Oh.
And we have to get in on talent."
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So I've had that kind of stuff.
I will flex on
said
anybody that
to
says
me.
that to you.
Yeah.
I will come for them. Yeah.
But you don't hear about those stories so much. It's more, you know, in whispers and pearl clutching. Oh, that stuff doesn't happen, and you know. So it's good that we are taking on these issues head on now, and so I do relate a lot to this process.
Yeah.
And I'm just cheering them on. But there is that burden of representation that gets focused on these one-off productions as having to be everything, right? But that's part of the process. So we want enough made so that one doesn't have to carry the load of all the expectations on the planet for being Asian American representation in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right? So this is what the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite was about, and the continuing infantilization of and erasure of Asians, right? And as a huge category, like in the U.S. Census, all Asians are lumped together. Doesn't matter, like East Asian, South Asian, whatever, like every Asian.
Wow.
In the census.
Wow.
Right? And that is really pretty harmful.
Yeah.
You know, and then it transfers to Hollywood.
Of course.
Where the stories that get told are inaccurate.
Yeah.
And sometimes offensive.
Yeah.
And, you know, having been on both sides of the camera, that's something for me that's really awesome to see happening now, where, like, this is why I got so excited about Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah.
It hit me so hard in the feels for all the reasons.
Yeah.
It pops.
Oh my God, it's so great.
Yeah,
I love
really
it so
does.
much.
Yeah.
It pops so much.
It does. It does. It just on so many fronts for me. That quote you read about her falling for the, you know, and the successful woman hooking up with a weed smoking low achiever. I felt like, were you watching the same movie? That was addressed. It was yelled at him.
Yeah.
You have decided to stay out of life. It wasn't so much low achieving so much as it was fear. And we spend a lot of our time in our culture talking about our personal fears keeping us from doing anything at all. And so I feel like if they make Always Be My Maybe Still...
I mean, the next one has to be Always Be My Baby, probably.
My baby, because they're
gonna have a kid or something.
But I feel like that would be fine, and maybe Marcus is the primary caregiver because that's something he wants to do.
Yeah.
And his wife is just like works really hard and loves her job, and why is that a wrong story to tell?
That would be a great story.
I mean, it'd be bad if he's still smoking weed trying to get the band off the ground. I will go with you there if we make the sequel to this movie. And he's still... But by the end of the movie, he's moved out.
Honestly, though, like, I think, like, smoking weed and looking after a baby, he'd probably be a pretty chill dad. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'd like to think
like,
he could keep the two events, you know?
I mean, just it's therapeutically,
sure.
not just recreationally.
Manageably. I mean, I don't have a problem with thinking about the fact that this is a guy that hasn't necessarily had to been on, like, knows exactly what he wants. She knows what she wants.
She always knows what she wants, yeah.
Lucky gift. I mean, I didn't feel that I was being sold a bill of goods where our heroine is selling out and settling. I didn't feel that.
No, I didn't feel like she was settling at all.
No.
Yeah.
No, even when they were separated, the lead up to her presenting him with Judy's stew
in the restaurant,
is just so. I'm hitting my heart right now.
Oh, we can hear you doing your Celine Dion. I like it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the movie just about killed me by killing off Judy in the first 10 minutes. I loved her immediately, and I think like when a movie can make you feel that connected to a character in the first like 5 to 10 minutes, that's amazing. And like what a lovely it just like it means that everything else is going to be so good throughout the rest of it, and it really like delivered on that promise.
And I was happy to see Dad get
Dad.
a love interest and not be dead, and just with the Diana Ross impersonator. I mean that was
lovely.
That was very funny and sweet. And also I just like when we don't like. We were just discussing another rom-com where the older people are kind of like kitschy and they make funny lines about sex, whereas we're giving their dad a sex life, a life.
Yeah.
Like, and a really exciting one, and a one where he's actually judging his son for being boring. And I like that. I like that sense of everyone getting an opportunity in these stories.
Yeah.
I love how he was encouraging his son to move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we always see the thing where, oh, no, you need to look after me. And Marcus didn't have that to fall back on either.
No.
At the end.
No, he liked that idea that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that a lot. We didn't talk a lot about her, but like, this is the first movie that I've seen Michelle Buteau in, and I thought she was great.
Yes.
I really...
That's her, the personal assistant in the restaurant?
personal assistant and the friend.
Was really
like,
funny.
I thought she was so funny. She has a podcast.
Oh, she does?
It's called... It is called Late Night Whenever, and I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm really excited to check it out. And I know that she's a comedian as well, and she does like a lot of stuff all over the place. And I think she's at Bumbershoot in the festival in Seattle in the fall on Labor Day weekend. So hopefully maybe that means she'll do like a Vancouver show around then as well. Who knows? But I really liked her a lot.
I also always recommend and love Casey Wilson playing the uptight white woman. I mean, she does it.
She does it well.
As well as
she does it well.
Anyone can, you know. And just when you need that person, get the best.
Casey Wilson's great. I love her a lot. We also did not spend enough time talking about Marcus's girlfriend.
Oh my gosh, that's one of
that
those.
That is a scene-stealing role.
I wonder when you're editing, you're going, oh my God, do we keep as many scenes in with her, because she is so funny.
I want a
and how she just like, and I love also just this. Maybe there's a lot of people who are like hippie vegans, or no, she wasn't vegan, right?
She wasn't vegan because she did the Vienna sausage. Vienna sausage.
But they really laid on thick that she was a community activist, artist, and I know. But that it's all gone out the window with Keanu. Like, I am staying for this. And, it's important to get connections for your arts projects.
I know. I love that. I was like, look,
I can compromise and make that math, too.
I get it.
Yeah.
You're fine. Like, just go get yours. We do like to leave our episodes on something we recommend. So, Flo, as our special guest, would you like to go first?
I love the movie Train to Busan.
What's about?
I like that movie. I've seen it. Zombie film.
Zombies.
Korean
zombies.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Cool. What do you like best about it?
I love that it has complicated contours to it. Right? It doesn't just stick in one genre, and it transcends all these categories, and so it feels like you've watched many movies in one.
That sounds great.
And I know there are a lot of people who have, call it zombie fatigue, which really, because there's a lot of there's a new one coming out from Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah.
But do give this one some time. It's really, really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lisa, what do you recommend?
I think it's something that we're going to discuss soon, but if you haven't had a chance to see Dead to Me yet, which was just renewed for a second season today, which today meaning this will come out later. But, So that's exciting, and if you haven't had a chance to watch these 10 half-hour golden little episodes starring James Marsden.
No, what? Is he in it?
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa. Lisa's ruining it for me. I was so excited to watch the show.
Hey, Linda Cardellini.
I love Linda Cardellini, and I love Christina Applegate.
Christina Applegate.
I know.
And James
Fine.
Marsden.
Ugh. That guy.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
That guy.
Anyway, recommending it. Get it done now because we'll be talking about it later.
Fine. Yes, and I am excited to watch it.
Yeah.
I am going to. This is because a dear friend of mine gave me a surprise gift a few weeks ago, and he gave.
It sounds like you're gonna say herpes. Where you're saying gift.
A gift. Yeah, my dear friend. I mean, I know I've joked about multiple lovers, but it's just Carlos. This is like literally just a dear friend, Brian. He gave me the like record of the Muppet movie.
Oh.
And he said it came into his possession, and he just knew that it was meant for me, and so he gave it to me. And that was like so nice. And now I just found out that they're re-releasing the film into theaters in the summer, like for an anniversary. And I'm so excited. And I can't wait to go and watch the movie. I am going to just go and just like, I mean, as soon as he gave me the album, I like cried in public. And because I was just like so touched, and I had no idea that it was coming. And so now I'm just going to go and watch the movie, and I'm going to have like the best time. It's going to be great. And
so
I can't
is
wait.
the record like the soundtrack, like songs?
The soundtrack to the Muppet movie.
Okay, all right.
The soundtrack to the Muppet movie. Yeah.
That's with the rainbow and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So excited. I haven't listened to it yet, but
you could just watch the movie.
I'm going to watch the movie, obviously.
Oh, okay.
But this was before I found out that the movie was getting re-released into theaters, and I'm super excited about that. So, yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
So,
Flo, if anyone wants to like find you, do you want them to find you or no?
They can follow me on Twitter.
Okay. What's your Twitter?
@CheeFlo.
Thank you. You can also hang out with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You could email us at popthiscollective@gmail.com.
And we record at Vancouver Public Library. Our producer is Andrea Gin, and we'll see you soon. And join my James Marsden fan club.
Ugh.